I don't know, Monday coming
All right, it says public hearing by Thursday following November election, may be adjourned but not beyond 11:15. So we could do it before our, I don't see a between for it. And I'd like to check on that.
I don't remember ever having a meeting 2 days after election day. That's why I'm asking. I thought we had a little bit longer.
Okay, so at our next regular, at our October meeting, we can either schedule a public hearing or adjourn it to sometime, but not beyond November 15th.
Right.
So the things we're doing right now are scheduling, we need the motion to change the regular town board meeting from October, November 25th to the 18th.
Right. And schedule a workshop on October 6th.
One motion,
I'll make a
Okay.
motion.
both at 6:30?
Yes.
Go for 6:30.
Okay.
I'll second that now. Can we do it now? Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great.
So that was to move our regular meeting and have to approve
The
the budget.
workshop on October 6th.
October 6th for the workshop. Do we need a motion to have the public hearing on November 5th?
No, we're gonna wait. till
We're
the
gonna wait
next
on that,
meeting.
so just cross
We don't
that
have
off
to have it
then.
on the 5th.
We can just cross that off, we don't have to have that down on this one, okay.
So the
We can wait
regular
till next one.
November meeting will be November 18th, rather
Correct.
than the 25th.
Yeah,
Does everybody agree with that?
it'll be in the paper.
Just so, November 18th instead of the 15th will be the November meeting.
Instead of the 25th.
Instead of the 25th, it'll be on the 18th in November.
That concludes my report. Council comments?
I just want to say that I don't think as a board or as a supervisor, we have the right to tell the justice what he can and can't do with his office door because he is an elected official and we don't rule over him, so to speak. He's been a part of this community and this township for a number of years and is a highly respected man in our community. And the pictures that he's posting are simply showing what is inside the doors that we are not able to see. I know I've had many people ask me, what's wrong with the courtroom, what's wrong with the courtroom, and I can't answer them because I can't show them. So I really don't see anything wrong with him posting the pictures on the door. And he knows what's legal as far as postings.
Any other comments?
Just that I agree with Michelle. It's his property and I wouldn't want somebody doing that to my property.
And I have to agree with them too. I think, out of respect for them, they should be able to do that.
It's just a way for the community to see what's going on with a, specific instance that has been an issue for many years, or many months anyways, a year or so.
But to clarify, the roof leak has been fixed.
No,
No.
no.
There's a hose coming out of the
He still has a
ceiling.
hose in there with a thing missing. Don't you, Ron?
There's a bucket up in the ceiling with a hose attached to it, and it runs down to a bucket on the floor. So when the ice builds up on the roof in the winter, and you get the spring thaw, the roof cracks, and the water runs down.
And there's nothing, I've been told by the roofer that there's nothing they can do to fix that because of a flat roof.
I've had everything that was on the desk, the open records, files, saturated. That was one of the pictures that was up there. It's deplorable conditions. It's not conducive to a courtroom.
I don't disagree with you. I just know since that incident and when we had that repair done and spent $2,000 to do it, I have heard of no other problems with the roof leaking. So if you have another issue, if it leaks again, please let me know and we'll take care of it.
I got electrical
When's the
outlet,
last time your roof leaked?
January 2014.
Right, when I first came in and we had it repaired.
But there's not enough outlets in there. I've got all the equipment plugged into these aftermarket strips that smoke. And,
No,
hey,
I agree. Right.
no, people come in there and they go, "Where's the court?" I go, "This is the court." "Well, this doesn't look like a court." You know, and you get prisoners tied together in there. It's not safe. You know, I get people that come in there when there's prisoners here and they're scared to death. And something needs to be done.
I'd love for you to move out here at least until we find another resolution. That
But
way you
there's
have
not
a point
enough-
of egress.
You gotta build a bench. There's not enough electrical outlets out here. Should be open court. The law says you have open court.
Yeah.
That's
You're
why I leave
supposed
the
to have a
door
trial
open.
Friday, correct?
Yes, I have a jury trial scheduled for Friday. I have 40 prospective jurors coming, plus the defendant, plus the district attorney, the defense lawyer, stenographer. I mean, there's gonna be probably 50 people here, if it flies. Right now, they're still in negotiations, and the attorneys know a lot of times at the 11th hour, it gets called off. I'm kinda hoping it gets called off, but I can't guarantee that till I know.
We could
But,
pretty
you
easily
know what?
and cost effectively move you out into this room. If it's that
Build me a-
dangerous in there, then I think we should move that forward as quickly as
Build a
possible.
bench, build it the way it should be. Go down to the
Okay.
town of Mohawk, town of Glen, look at their courtrooms.
Okay.
That's what started trying to build this building in the first place.
Right.
Is Ronnie Morrison said we were in violation with the state because we didn't have an open courtroom.
I had the state come in and do a security assessment, and they did the whole building, and parking and lighting and.
It wasn't because we wanted to spend $400-some thousand. It was because of what's going on in there.
Well, partially, but.
Right, but
Parking lot's not big enough. Look out there tonight, they parked all over the place.
Well, I have another situation concerning that, and that is, how many times have we been talking about this? How many reports have been done on that? And it's only gonna take one lawsuit to put us under. One lawsuit of somebody in there getting hurt. One lawsuit of somebody getting sick from being in there.
I had, one night I had a room full of people and somebody pulled up against the door so nobody could get out with their car. And I came out here and I said, whoever has that car parked out there, I want to move right away or I'm calling Roosevelt's. And nobody said a word. I don't know how they got in here. It must be there was two people. They let the one person in, then they drove up against the door. So I started dialing the phone to call Roosevelt's, and the person came in and said, "Oh, they moved it." You know, those are the kind of things.
and that's a fire trap. You have no other way out of there.
Right. I mean, you need a way to get out, and
Well, I think the least we
it'd be
can
pretty
do is
easy to
build
just
them a
move you
bench.
out here and
We
put
can't-
some lines out in the
I used to
borough.
carry everything in bankers boxes down to the village hall in the cellar, you know, before this building was here. And then every time I needed to make a copy, I had to go up to Miles Frazier's greenhouse because that's where the copy machine was. I mean, we have upgraded from that, but now we have, you know, we're computerized, we have records. I have filing cabinets, so many file cabinets in there with records that you can't get a wheelchair in there. So it's not handicap accessible. I have calls all the time, or I receive letters and faxes from all different state and federal agencies. Somebody's applying for a pistol permit, or they want to apply for a nursing license, or they want to adopt kids. That goes back 40 years. If they had a case here, they want to know what the disposition of that case was. you know, to satisfy the conditions of what these people are applying for. And if 30, 40 years back, you know, you gotta go out in the dungeon out there in that mold infested trailer to find those things, a lot of times I'll just say, I can't do it. You know, I'm not gonna provide it.
Yeah.
Can't provide it. And
We
it shouldn't
we
be that
definitely
way.
need a solution. I don't think anybody disagrees with that.
And I still have to repeat, in the words of Yogi Berra, who just passed away, it's not what you do that gets you into trouble, it's what you don't do. And when we don't take action, when we have informed information, it's only gonna cause us more problems and more money, which seems to be on everybody's mind. Keep that in thought.
And the more
Most of the people
lawsuits,
a lot of the people that come in there aren't happy people.
right,
They aren't happy.
But you should remember that we're insured for all of this.
but the more
So-
lawsuits we have against us, the more it costs us in legal fees, which affects the taxpayers.
And
If we are insured and we have to pay out, our insurance goes up, so you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
They'll close us down if we ever have a problem here, then we're not gonna get any money from him.
That's just not true.
Oh, yes, they will.
They won't, I don't know who they is, but they won't close municipal
The state.
government down.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
OCA, at some point, might find the premises so objectionable that they will come in and dictate what they think needs to take
And
place
all they
going
do is wait for
forward.
something to happen, and that's when they come in. Everybody is reactionary, and that's what's gonna happen here. It's just a reactionary thing.
I think meanwhile, while we're waiting for this building, at least we can do is give them a bench on it.
Yeah.
And then we could always move it to the new building if we
Let's do that. What is the timeline for the OCA grant?
Well, Ron would probably know more than that.
180 days from the time you receive the check, which is in February.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've called a couple times, tried to milk it along to get an extension. What I wanted to do is I thought the building would be up by now. You know, we had used that grant. Now there's the grant out again for this year,
Mhm.
which has to be completed, the application has to be completed by October 12th, I believe.
Okay.
I was gonna apply for another 30,000 to do the inside and build a bench, but I can't do that because we haven't used the other money yet.
Can we use that other money to build a bench?
No.
No.
What, is it, is it
Slated
that we
for the
cannot
new-
use it
I
any?
took the total square footage of the
I
building
understand.
and the price per square foot of the cost of building that from the bids. And then I figured the court section of the building and multiplied that by the dollar per square foot.
Yep.
And I applied for a construction loan for that section of the building. So that's what you have to use it for.
Okay, so, but although our 180 days is up,
I
can we
have to
still
call
use
her-
the
I told her I
grant?
would call her before the end of the month, that they were gonna
All
rebid
right.
it. And I didn't know what was gonna happen, and I have to call her back next week.
Well, would you let her know that, you know, the building is not within this amount of time going forward? So,
I
but
guess.
that you have a significant safety issue that you're facing, and we would like to like to rectify
have
that
to-
by building a bench.
You have to reapply. You can't use that money for anything else. I asked about that, they said you either have to, you have to reapply, and they may award you part of the money, all of the money, or none of the money.
Okay,
And this year, they've got $2.5 million available to the justice courts to use, you know, at these grants. They want the justice courts to get on board and, you know, play the part of court, you know, not working out of a closet or whatever, you know. The state wants the courts up to standards.
great.
And they're
great,
willing to pay for it.
Great. So, would you get something in writing from them that says they will not let us use that third
I already
attorney?
gave you.
have it.
I
gave
saw
you.
that, I saw
Yeah,
that. So if that's what you're using it, all right, I'll put a call into, just to make sure. I don't wanna let this money go if there's any possibility of using it for something that we all agree that we
I'm gonna
need.
call and tell her to take it back because we're not using it for the.
I'm
Well,
not
why
sure I
would
do
It was
you-
that.
intended.
No, don't do that.
don't do
I don't
Let's
think I
keep
would do
the,
that.
I mean, if they're giving us $30,000, let's use it.
Yes, but we're not using it for what was applied for. If
That's
I had
okay.
known.
No, it
So-
doesn't. You either have to use it for that or you gotta send it back.
I'll give
Well,
them a call.
if you
so-
were to have a platform built that elevated, say, one of these tables above the height of the normal floor, and maybe even closed in the front or something a little bit, would that be sufficient for your needs for the temporary, for the time
Yeah.
being? Would that work?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
That kind of construction is very minimal in cost. Like, we're not
Right.
talking about a lot of
And
money
if that
there.
was the case, and I applied for that, that would be fine. But I don't think they're gonna go, because that wasn't what the original application
Well,
was.
I'm wondering whether we have in our own reserve funds, just putting aside the building monies and so
Well,
on, enough money to build a small platform. I think we probably could do that. That's not a terribly expensive undertaking, I wouldn't think.
I've spoken with several people at the court administration. We had a magistrate's meeting last week, and I talked to the counsel for our administrative law judge, explained the situation to him. He said, well, you can call and ask about extending it, but he said there's 2 towns that haven't used that money yet, and they're gonna come down on it.
Let's talk. I've worked for a long time in government grants, and there's usually some flexibility about, if, they understand that the world is not always a very predictable place, and we may be able to use it. If the alternative is either just giving it away or using it for a bench, let's try to use it for a bench.
Go ahead, I called and asked, but maybe
Let's
you'll
talk.
have better
Let's
luck
figure
than
it
I
out.
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we already had to give back 27,000, how
Right,
many years
before we
ago?
were gonna do
Because
this.
it was the same grant.
When the windmill thing came up, and when they put the driveway in and the well, and they were gonna build a building up there before, we applied for a grant for $27,000, and we got it. But we didn't use it, we had to send it back. So now we're deja vu all over.
As Yogi would say.
So, should I apply for another grant? I don't think so. Because somebody will find fault with something. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Any other council comments?
Yes. I'll make sure the flag is at half now. Can you please give me a look at the days officially that it should be? Okay? I need that.
It's half staff, it isn't Navy, half staff.
Half staff.
And no one was working in this town hall, and no one was at the highway garage the day of 9/11. They were both Fridays, and there was nobody there, so that's why.
But they still should be.
They still should be, I agree with you, but there was nobody in the buildings to even probably think. I never thought of it, myself. I could have come down and did it.
Any other comments?
Make a motion to go on executive session.
I'll second that. And I'm also gonna ask that no recording devices go into the executive session. I did that.
Yeah.
All in favor?
The purpose of executive session.
Purpose?
Who made the motion?
I did.
Ready?
For the litigation regarding the village of Canada Gary and, Commonwealth lawsuit.
And we
It's on the
need to add-
agenda.
It's on the agenda.
We need to add Cayman too?
Yes.
And Cayman. Second, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions?